Alright, so this is Patrick Mason, student number s5263748, counselling in theory practice roleplay assignment, my client nacht. Trimester 1, my tutor is Stacey. Thank you. So nacht, how's it going?
Good.
It's good. Thank you for coming to see me. So yeah, tell me why you're here today.
I've been feeling lost at the moment. I feel like I've been very stagnant and not moving forwards in life. I'm just keep on working, doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it's been happening for quite a while now, and it's taking a toll. Yeah, I'm not really depressed or anything, but it's just I think it's time for me to see a professional because life has been somewhat meaningless. Yeah, the past couple of months.
Well, I thank you for coming either way and sort of taking that first step to come see me. So we're talking about your life in general. I guess you did mention meaningless, and I guess in reference to your day-to-day life. Could you tell me about your day-to-day life if you feel comfortable doing so?
Yeah, well, at the moment I'm just picking pretty much working every day, Monday to Friday, sometimes even Saturday. I work as a barista, so I make coffees, and I work at a cafe, and so I work and I just go home. I'm so tired. That's pretty much what I do all the time now.
So you work as a barista. Could you just tell me about that as well? Like sort of, I guess your day-to-day functions, because you said it's very repetitive. Give me an insight to what that looks like.
Yeah, so pretty much working at a cafe, I do the till sometimes, I greet customers, and I fundamentally make the coffee and drinks, other drinks as well. And yeah, I freaking memorize most of the drinks on the menu, all of them, and I've done it so many times over and over again. And I feel like it's come to a point where I feel like the job isn't worthy anymore. Like, it's not challenging me, it's not mentally stimulating, and it's just how would you say it, alienating in some way.
Okay, I guess in compare, I know that this is like consensus sort of like, I guess, dislike for really going into detail about your job or the general job in general. Could you tell me about, I guess, possible positive outcomes, like a co-worker, maybe your boss, that type of insight on those things?
Positive outcomes. Well, it was a good job from the start, you know. And good job in the sense of I graduated 3 years ago, and I graduated from year 12, and this was my first job and my first full-time job, so it was nice, and I get paid well. I think for my age, and this is the first time we actually have a job and got money from it. So this job, in a sense, was a blessing for me. But yes, I have a good relationship with my boss. My boss and we have a very professional relationship. My boss knows me well, and I'm very comfortable talking about my issues or about my life with my boss. And I have a good relationship with all my workmates. You know, sometimes we get on each other's nerve, but I guess it's part of the business. Like, you don't see eye to eye with people all of the time. But same thing with my boss. I am very comfortable with them, and I do hang out with them. I actually consider them as friends.
So I'll just reflect on that quickly. So I guess there is sort of like a repetitiveness you said before with the job, but in other terms of like co-workers, you seem to have a very good relationship with them. Your boss, you also seem to have, I guess, a more positive relationship. And even with like sort of the negative situations where I guess work gets a bit hectic and you sort of get into it with other co-workers, it's sort of like just something that happens. It's not really something that I guess sticks with you. Would that be, so it's not like, it's not something that really hangs about that you really focus on. It's just, I guess, a result of work.
Yeah, it's literally just the work, I think. You know, and there's like other stuff in life that like affects it a little bit. But I think I fundamentally know what's wrong. So for example, like I don't want to wake up in the morning and go to work anymore. Like back in the day, it was fine. Like, you know, I even loved it. And now it's just like coming to the point where man, I wake up and go to work, so sick of this, and I'm starting to become resentful and bitter, and it's not good. I'm starting to notice it, and sometimes my mood is really affecting me to the point where it's hard for me to control it.
So I guess before it was sort of a positive, you know, good income. It's sort of you did say it sort of was seen as a blessing, but now because of like the repetitiveness, it's not really something that you enjoy. Yeah, would that be right in saying?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's sort of to an extent where it's like get up, it's like now I have to go to work.
Yeah. Not enjoying it at all.
And even with the positives, I guess, like you said, with the co-workers and the boss, it's still like a draining source, I guess.
What do you mean? I have a good relationship with my boss and my coworkers, but I do have I think I'm quite a bit of an introvert, and like I enjoy hanging out with friends. I can be very social, but draining and like hanging out with a lot of people drains me. So for example, I see customers every day, and a lot of the customers, because I've worked there for years, they all want to talk to me. Like, you know, like they want to ask me how my day is, they want to talk about their life, and it's just like like just let me do my job. Like, you know, it's not that I don't like them, it's just like seeing a lot of people and interacting with plenty of people just sucks my energy to the core. And yeah, I have housemates as well, and now when I go home, when they say hello, hi, they want to hang out, I just say no. And that's negatively impacting my social life outside of work. Because it comes to the point where I don't even want to hang out with people anymore. I just prefer to be by myself after work.
So it's even, I guess, affecting things that are external to the occupation itself. Yeah. Before you mentioned, if it's okay that we touch on this, you mentioned the word alienation. Could we just talk about that quickly? What was meant by that? Just a little bit inside, if you're comfortable.
I just feel like I just make too many coffees, man, every day. And it's not, I feel like I could be more. Not saying, that's not like a dig to baristas. Like, you know, there's an art to making coffees. But I think there's other areas of interest of mine that I can probably venture on. Like interests that I don't know what exactly is, but although I do have an idea, it's just like that repetitive, make coffee, go to the till, greet people, talk to people for a bit, and make more drinks. I'm so sick of it. I think it's time for a change.
So I'm just saying a bit of, I guess, difference in tone when talking about, I guess, different periods of time. So now versus before. Could you give me an insight of, I guess, what before this sort of perspective or attitude sort of took on? What was your life before?
Life before, I used to gym a lot. So I used to do a fair bit of bodybuilding. This is when I graduated and got the job. This is probably my first year of the job. I was pretty active, you know. I was going to the gym a lot. What else did I do? I was happy going to work, you know, earning that money. And when I first started, I was learning a lot. So there was a lot to learn. So I guess there was meaning in that, a lot of responsibility, and I wasn't used to it, so it was challenging. What else? I socialized on the weekends, and yeah, pretty much work out, socialize on the weekends. I used to do those a fair bit.
You mentioned socialization on the weekend. Does that still happen?
Yeah, from time to time it does happen. Well, I'm more like now I hang out with my friends from time to time because I need to. Because otherwise I wouldn't hang out with them at all. Because I'm so tired all the time. So even when I hang out with them from time to time, it's like I don't want to. I just do it because I feel like I need to, which is fair enough. You know, I feel like sometimes I owe my friends stuff because they're here for me, and I just need to get myself sorted.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, definitely doesn't happen quite often.
Mm. Mm. And you also mentioned going to the gym. Does that still happen? Physical exercise of any kind?
Not much, not at all. Like I said before, like after I go to work, I just don't have any energy. So that's the thing. I procrastinate a lot lately, and I just use my phone and sleep. Or I wake up again, work, sleep. So.
Mm. Mm. Could you? I guess there's sort of just a widening perspective for this. Could you see any present difference between then and now, other than I guess hanging out with your friends, which you still do, and the change of working out? Because you did say, you did mention the word challenge with a more positive attitude. Is that sort of something that mixes in? Is like, say, because before things were challenging, therefore it was more positive to experience something? Would that be the case? Or is there anything?
Definitely. I think I learned that skill from sports and bodybuilding. You know, and I think people need challenges. You know, and a lot of the stuff, for example, in the gym, when you challenge, then you have a goal. There's a reward, and you can see that. You see yourself progressing, and those stuff that I progressed at the gym, it enhanced my confidence. I have a good body, and I made new friends, and I can translate it to the real world, like in my life outside of the gym, which is in the as a barista at the cafe. I know how to talk to people a fair bit because I need to build rapport with clients, but a lot of the stuff, like, it's hard for me to translate it in the real world, and the job is physically challenging, but it's not mentally stimulating at all. So that's why I'm a bit stuck.
I would just think, just before we move on, I do see a lot of, like, I guess, confounding or variables that are sort of pushing against you. There's draining and I guess difficulties at work despite certain positives. And, I guess lack of sleep, you're always tired, and you're still making room for your friends when you can. And I think it would be even more, I guess, of a hassle, more of a difficulty to come see me. So I do want to give you that, I guess, admiration that you deserve for being able to take that first step again, even more so now, listening to these specific things. And I feel like not only is there a difference when you talk about now versus before, but there's a difference between talking about your general occupation and I guess your interest in physical fitness. So I understand that you really like the challenge. Is there anything else that you really like about physical fitness? Is there anything else you can tell me in relation to that?
I've been playing sports since I was a kid, so it's been kind of like embedded into me. Like, I really like to know how the body works, and I love nutrition. So I just love physical well-being and like just sports in general. I think I know a lot about it. It's been interest since I was a kid.
Okay, so you haven't, like, I guess it was more evident now than it was before. They have a really interesting, I guess, not just an interest, but sort of like an innate adoption of specific like athletic things. So eating nutritiously. Do you read about it? Do you, I guess, or like are constantly on top of the sports trends, like something, those kind of things?
Yeah, no, I do follow my sports. I love UFC. I love boxing. I love my NBA. I watch a lot of sports. Yeah, even now, I'm still keeping up to date, and I do know a lot about health and fitness only because I used to do bodybuilding. So, like, I probably need to study again so I can retrieve those information that I knew back then. But yeah, I do read a fair bit.
So I just listening, I hear like a really profound appreciation for challenge. with the bodybuilding, the general, I guess, keeping to a nutritious diet.
Mm-hmm.
Not just like watching sports, but like reading about it to some people is like the next step. And normally with, I guess, challenging yourself, that comes with goals. Before, did you have any goals when it came to fitness or that type of stuff?
Oh, definitely. I used to weigh like 66 kilos after year 12, and I was very skinny. And after year 12, I had a job, and so I could afford the gym, and I can afford a personal trainer, and I can afford to buy food. So after that, I had a goal to at least go up to 80 kilos, build some muscle, look a bit better, you know, like, and I did. So I achieved that. And it's one of the things I had to work so hard for in my life. But yeah.
Did you achieve that goal that you set?
Yes, I did.
How did that feel, achieving that goal?
Yeah, it was amazing. Especially all that hard work actually paid off. I think it's one of those things, like, it didn't matter how hard, it was very hard, but I had that end goal in mind. And that was one of the best experience ever, for sure. And that's something I want to venture, like I want to go back into in the, like someday. I want to do bodybuilding, I want to look good, I want to be fit, I want to be healthy.
Definitely. Yeah, I can see that. There's a different, like, I guess, primary focus on that. Yeah, definitely. I can see that with the way you talk about it. So we talked about goals with personal fitness, and we'll also there's a big focus in general on your current occupation. Do you have any goals in relation to a future occupation?
Not set in stone. I do have ideas. So, for example, I don't mind going to sciences, probably doing to do studies, becoming a physio or become a dietitian. But it's pretty much closely related to like PT work or health, somewhere in health. Yeah.
Is there anything specific that stands out for physicians or dietitians? I'm not really adverse in those specific areas. Could you tell me about that?
That's fine. I guess because they're very knowledgeable. They know how the body works. You know, and the effects on, for example, becoming a dietitian, you need to know the effects on food, what it does to your body. And I really like informing people. Like when I talk to my friends about bodybuilding, I normally tell them what I know, and I quite enjoy it. And so that draws me in a way, because I'm going to be talking about something that interests me to other people.
Okay, sorry. I'm just wary of time in terms of how long we have, so I'll acknowledge that it sounds really cool, like the general animation that you have for physical fitness, the amount of focus you put in. So just stepping into the next step, I guess we'll just, because again, wary of time, we'll reflect on what we said before, and we'll sort of come down to the focus points, and then we'll take the next step, which is whatever required. So I hear currently there is a stagnant status that you have, mainly brought on by your occupation as barista. Not necessarily the co-workers or your boss, because I've heard that they're very, I guess, positive influence to a certain extent, because I guess social interaction still is like a draining source in your life. And in comparison to beforehand, you're working out a lot, you're keeping very fit, but now I guess sort of as an external effect as from the occupation, that's sort of, I guess, lesson of how much time I guess you spent in the gym or get to hang out, or want to hang out with your friends. Is that correct? Would it be correct in me saying? Yeah. So I guess with increasing, I guess, time working out, would that be a focus point for you? And hanging out with your friends, would that be a focus for you? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Alright. Well, I guess thank you for coming in and talking about this. I guess I can understand just how profound is just your admiration for physical fitness and that type of thing. Definitely. So those are just my focus points from there. would you be willing to come in and talk about this another time?
Yes, for sure.
Coming
Definitely.
back? Yeah. Because I think, not just talking about it, but I have an admiration for the things that you talk about and the way you talk about, and I'd like to learn more just in general. So would you be like to come in?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sure.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.